Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is headed to Beijing this week. Ahead of the visit, he's already joined the Chinese social media platform Sina Weibo as a way to reach out to the Chinese people. He wrote in his Weibo, "Hello China, looking forward to interacting with Chinese friends through Weibo." He wrote that in his first post in Chinese language. It's all part of a major charm offensive as India hopes to foster a closer relationship with China. Our correspondent Shweta Bajaj reports from New Delhi.
Zhang Yang left his home near Beijing to study Buddhism in Delhi University 4 years back. He is currently pursuing a master's in philosophy, researching cultural exchanges between China and India. Zhang tells us every high-level visit and interaction between the two most populous nations in the world is an opportunity for a shared future.
I find it's a very positive way to communicate, to do cooperation between China. And it's also very important to understand each other. Then it will improve other aspects.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's China visit is being seen as one of the most important ones that he is taking during his first year as India's Prime Minister. While he is using social media and yoga to reach to Chinese people, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs says expect a range of serious issues to be discussed.
You may expect that a full range of political issues would be discussed, bilateral ties, regional issues, multilateral issues.
But trade will be top of the agenda, including ways to tackle the trade imbalance between China and India. India will also try and get more access for its pharmaceutical and IT services industry in the Chinese market.
On the trade side, we think it's completely conceivable that China imports more from India. There are many areas where India is globally competitive, but somehow we have not been able to be successful in the Chinese market. The solution to trade has to be found by more enlightened regulatory practices which would create a better trade balance.
China is India's largest trading partner with two-way trade totaling $70 billion. And with Modi's aim to give its people prosperity and a better life, this trip will also be about economy. But that doesn't mean that bilateral and diplomatic issues will be left behind. According to Indian Ministry of External Affairs, resolving border disputes, coordinating on multilateral forums and increasing cultural exchanges will also be discussed. Deals on railways will also be on the table. Alka Acharya is the director of the Institute of Chinese Studies in New Delhi. She says there would be efforts by both nations to ensure that the visit is successful.
Modi would be looking for investment, for getting the trade imbalance rectified, for infrastructure development. So all these are, I think, are going to also play a role. The third thing I think is also the larger picture that is unfolding in Asia. It has to do with how India and China are going to engage with each other. A lot of expectations are coming from the Asian countries about the foundations for this Asia century being laid by India and China.
Modi is starting his visit on a personal note from the ancient city of Xi'an in President Xi Jinping's home province. President Xi started his India visit with Modi's home state of Gujarat. But here in India, expectations are running high. The biggest challenge of this visit will be to discuss contentious issues while forging a deeper relationship. Shweta Bajaj, CCTV, New Delhi.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the northwest Chinese city Xi'an as Modi begins a 3-day visit to China. Xi Jinping recalled his visit to India in September and welcomed the growing cooperation and increasing exchanges between the two sides. He called for a closer partnership on development with stronger strategic cooperation in regional and global affairs to promote a fair and reasonable international order. He called for greater coordination between China's One Belt, One Road Road Initiative and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank with Modi's Act Easy policy. Xi Jinping pledged to encourage Chinese companies to invest in India and urged India to provide the necessary conditions for that. And he called for efforts to manage disagreements between the two countries and promote political trust. Modi echoed Xi's suggestions and expressed willingness to jointly upgrade bilateral ties.